Hey squad, today we're going to talk about the Pve tier list. Finally, let's get right into it. Hey squad members, welcome back to the channel. Make sure you grab your front row seats for all you new folks out there. My name is Zeals, and today we're going to talk about the Pve tier list. By far, this has been the most requested video. I've gotten hundreds of comments about this throughout the last 7 months, and now it is time to get right into it. But before we do so, let me give a massive shout out to the newest member of the Patreon squad. Thank you so hard for joining the family and supporting this channel, as well as everybody that has joined the YouTube membership squad. Alright, so with all that out of the way, let's get right into it. It's been a long time. 7 months. Now, before we talk about the left side first, let's go over the disclaimer. This is based on elite heroes that you can get from the elite shards, and this is an endgame PvE Flame Shrine plus Broken Spaces tier list. Now, Broken Spaces, there are some people that can really optimize their team, like GDP. Shout out to GDP, who can clear his Broken Spaces stage 1 through 7 with 36 badges. However, for the rest of us, we don't need to clear Broken Spaces with 36 badges. Per month, if you do log in every day and collect your campaign loot, you're going to get around 150 Broken Spaces badges. Did I say per month already? Yeah, per month. So I kept that in mind, that we only need 150 badges to clear it. You don't need to go too crazy. However, in Flame Shrine, your damage does matter, because the higher you rank, the better rewards you get in terms of guild coins. So that's why I put a little bit more weight on Flame Shrine. The heroes that keep your team alive. So first on up at God tier, we got Miss Belle. Now, I'm not going to show you guys all her active skills and basic skills. I've done plenty of videos, but we'll just recap and go along very quickly. So Belle, she got reworked a couple of months ago, and her basic attack has that smart heal. So instead of her heals being random, it targets the lowest HP allies, 3 of them. Also with her active skill, she has that healing effect boost buff. That's great. And you cannot forget the fact that she also adds attack to your teammates. So I'm going to include that perk as well a little bit to put her up there in God tier. Now in tier 1, in the later Broken Spaces stages, as well as certain Flame Shrine bosses, you start needing heroes that can mitigate damage. Some bosses have crazy active skills, some bosses have passive damage or damage over time, or annoying CC effect. So the grayed out heroes, those heroes, they don't necessarily, well, Amun-Ra can heal, but other heroes like Carry, and yes, Gustin can heal as well, but Carry really doesn't heal your teammates. But what they do is keep your team alive by either mitigating the active skills like Amun-Ra can, and she can convert that into healing as well. So that is why she's at tier 1. And we got Horus up in there. His heal is insane as well. But unlike Belle, doesn't provide as much other utility and things like that. Alright, so for tier 2 we have Carry, and Carry works like Amun-Ra in terms of preventing damage, but also her Devouring Mark as well as her basic attack reducing energy can prevent CCs from heroes or bosses like Dark Arthandel's active skill, so your teammates are not petrified. So that is helping your team be more efficient. As for Vesta, she is a good healer, but Horus and Belle has an upper edge. One thing to note though is that in the higher Broken Spaces stages, you may need a healer and a damage mitigator like Gustin or Amun-Ra or even Carry. So with that, you can mitigate either the passive damage or the dot damage or the active skill damage. So you just need to figure out what you need on your team to handle the damage coming into your heroes. Gustin is in tier 3 because his totem heals every round very reliably. It is a smart heal, heals your ally with the lowest amount of HP. So if you have Gustin with, let's say, Amun-Ra or even Belle or Horus, that is great synergy right there in terms of keeping your heroes alive. Not only that, he can remove CC effects, which Belle also can. I forgot to mention that. And Gresen can also remove damage over time, which helps to keep your team alive. Kirk heals for a lot, especially if you build him at like E3 or above. I mean, most people do stop at E3, but he has enough attack to really do huge heals. And crews, random heals, just like Kirk. As for the honorary mentions, we got Balance Strike, which does heal a lot if your heroes are critting. We got Michelle. She has a Smart Heal tied into her active skill, and she can also place that crit buff. That's good, 20% crit. And Valkyrie is up there not because she can heal, but she can help. She's one of the best heroes when it comes to reducing attack, 35 point whatever percent. Alright, so let's move on to the damage boosters. Of course, we have Heart Watcher up in there. She has her freaking Mark debuff, which caps out at 300%. Basically, what I'm saying is that Heart Watcher makes your team do a lot of damage. And the icing on top is that she has the attack reduced for 2 rounds. And let's move on down to Sigmund. Sigmund is an armor stripper. He reduces armor. He's very good at that. Not only that, he does buttload of damage, but that's not why he's up here. The reason why he's up here is because of the burn debuff, which is very reliable from Sigmund. And burn debuff is important because most of you guys are going to be using Phoenix for your PvE monster because her passives are great to keep it short. And if you don't have a Sigmund, you can see that in the honorary mention we have Deathsworn, as well as Valkyrie has a burn. And Deathsworn, I can make an entire video about him or her, I don't know which one, but yeah, when it dies at 6-star, provides that permanent burn debuff to all. If your damage dealer, your damage carry keeps getting the Phoenix monster buff, then it keeps stacking and stacking as long as you have a reliable burn hero like Deathsworn and Sigmund. And the beauty of Deathsworn is when he or she dies, the Phoenix monster is more likely to buff your main damage carry hero, which we'll talk about very soon. And next up we have Kirk. Kirk has with his active skill the holy damage buff, and there is no such thing as a holy damage cap. You can go way over 100%, 200%, 300%, and Kirk does this to 3 random allies, and he's going to average around 5 to 6 active skills, so that's no laughing matter. We have Cruz up in there as well because he has the weaken mark. And if you don't have an armor reducer like Sigmund, you can bring Cruz because he also has armor reduced to the backline targets. So in broken spaces, both the bosses will get their armor reduced. For the Flame Shrine bosses, the backline bosses. So we got the armor reduced from Cruz, which can stack up to 2 stacks before it wears off down to 1. And next up we have Belle because she provides 30% attack buff, but it is to 4 random allies. And this is why I mentioned Deathsworn. If you have less heroes alive, more chance of your main damage carry to get the appropriate damage boosting buffs from Belle. And we have Rosa because Rosa also buffs your allies attack, and it's to all your allies, not just random. Not only that, he has armor reduced as well, and not only that, he also reduces the opponent's attack. Yeah. And for Emily, with her active skill, she has that 20% attack buff to your allies, and when she dips below 50%, if you can get her to, then she gives that attack buff as well. Now let's get right into the best part. Before we talk about the hero placements, I want to tell you guys that I've tested this every single day. I have 7 accounts to do broken spaces, not even counting my patrons' accounts. And we have a separate dedicated PvE channel for the patrons, and I have collection of footages and photos and all that good detailed stuff. But let me set the tone here. In all these teams there is a Heart Watcher, and all these teams, well, mostly all these teams, there is a Belle. So those are the 2 preconditions. So with Belle's attack boost as well as Heart Watcher's mark debuff, it's not like 100 percentile ranking. I'm not including Cruz and Kirk just to make one hero do the most amount of damage. I still need to include healers and support heroes and stuff like that. And this is not just like one fight, this is an average. So hear me out first as to why I have heroes placed like this. So in the god tier, we have multi-scaries, pretty self-explanatory. They do insane amount of damage. In Flame Shrine, broken spaces, they're gonna clear broken spaces within 150 badges, no problemo. We have Garuda, single-handedly outside of the multi-scary army, even double scary she can beat. As you guys are saying, she can do 10 billion damage or over 10 billion damage. But Garuda is just amazing against bosses. Just support her with the love and buffs and she'll go to town. Now in tier 1, we're just grouping a lot of these heroes in tier 1. All these heroes can at least reliably do 1 billion damage or 1.5 billion damage. Now some of these heroes can do like 2 to 3 or even more billion damage against certain bosses, but against others they may do 1 or 2. So instead of like, you know, putting them into different categories and explaining the circumstances, I just grouped them in here. Kara can do 2 to 3 billion. Sometimes he can do 1 billion against bosses that CC him pretty hard. Now let's move on to Daz Moog. Daz Moog is very underrated, and that is because not a lot of people have the resources to build him. But as you guys are seeing, this bad boy with Celestial 6-star stone, not even fully optimized, an awful stone. I had a Kiss of Ghost when I had a Sigmund, still pulling 4 to 6 billion damage. And the beautiful thing about Daz Moog is that he does extra damage to 3 out of 5 Flame Shrine bosses. 2 of them are Rangers, Melassa Kameth, as well as Faithblade, a light hero. So he's going to do additional damage. So Daz Moog, whoo, he's good. The only reason why he's not in God tier is because of broken spaces. But other than that, in Flame Shrine, he goes to town. All right. Dark Arthen though can shine, do crazy damage. You've seen all the screenshots. Doing multiple billions, 10 billion, 5 billion. She can do also crazy damage against Perea, Sigmund, Melassa. However, she has some consistency issues, but she is a very solid PvE hero. And next we got Aspen up in there. 3 dark heroes. Aspen against broken spaces, got that execute below 35%. He's going to just trash them. In Flame Shrine bosses, he can still muster 1 to 2 to 3 billion damage. Next up we got Horus. Same thing like Aspen, he can do a lot of damage. If he is constantly being harassed like against Kameth in the back line, Horus is always going to get targeted, which translates to Horus doing his counter attack every round. Not only that, Horus has his passive where he gains buffs every time your allies do active skills. Overall he does a lot of damage and he's tanky, so he's up there. Sigmund does insane damage, 2 to 3 billion easily. Not only that, he provides the armor reduce, the burn debuff, and the searing flame damage is insane and so fun to look at if you're watching the fight at ×1 speed. Even a single scary can do 2 to 3 billion damage. Just like Horus, if scary is being hit often, he just goes to town. Scary is scary. Now tier 2 we have Asmodel. Same with scary. If he gets hit, he places the marks. However, Asmodel doesn't scale like scary, but Asmo still can do over 1 billion damage, and that's what tier 2 pretty much means. Can do at least 1 billion. Yeah, so we have Cthulhu up there who can do 1 billion to even over 2 billion damage against Melassa. The only thing is that you need to make him the slowest hero so that after he does his active skill, he can reapply the burn debuff before your damage carry heroes attack in the next round. Nakia is up there because she can at least reliably do 1 billion damage. The only downside of Nakia is that against Flame Shrine bosses, she is not able to target the front duder, this front slot boss. Tier 3, they have to do at least 800 million damage pretty consistently. So we got Ada. If you build Ada with attack, she can do at least 800 million damage. Same with Faithblade and Omnivore, they can even do more. And we have Bloodblade. Bloodblade can he can do damage. Don't underestimate him. Penny, I'm consistently, and I've talked to a lot of people. I've read a lot of posts. I know that she can do 2.3 billion damage against Berea, but for all those people who have posted those screenshots, they have also admitted that they weren't able to get that kind of damage every time. But she can at least do around even 400 to 500 million up to 900 million. Yes, she can spike over. It really depends on your RNG, but the damage reduced as well as the heavy armor is affecting her basic as well as her active skill crit damage. And we got Sia. Sia can do at least 500, 600, 700 and even 800 million damage. Same with Flame Strike. And Unimax, you may be surprised. That's why I have some evidence. And even with a speed stone, speed attack stone, and the staff punisher of Immortal, not fully optimized for sure, doing 600 to 800 million damage. And if you have Sigmund, you would do more damage. And if you don't have a freaking speed stone like me, you would do even more. Berea, great against broken spaces. Flame Shrine, not so much because he only targets the front slot, but he still can do a buttload of damage because of the max HP portion of his active skill. Not only that, his ramp up is insane. And we got Starlight up in there. She can do over 1 billion, but because this is endgame PvE and you're not having all your teammates die, we have Starlight up in there, and she can easily do 600 to 800 million damage against 2 to 3 targets because there are not as many opponents to split her active skill damage. All right, so tier 4, we have Kirk. You know what? I don't even really need to go too much in detail about tier 4. Basically, tier 4 means in between 250 million to around 500 million damage. Yes, I know Amun-Ra can do like 800 million damage. It really depends on your team. If your team is full of either Omnivore or Dasmog and they're doing active skills every round, then Amun-Ra is going to get affected by that and she's going to do more damage because more active skills are going off. But we're not talking about the 100 percentiles, we're talking about like 90 percentile range. All right, so we got that done. And yeah, at tier 5, we have heroes that can do from anywhere from 50 million damage to around 200 million damage. And I've watched this closely, like Heart Watcher about 200 mil, Valkyrie about 150, 130 mil, and Valentino I also tried, and yeah. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys found this video really helpful, so make sure you smash that like button, and if we can get it to 700 likes, I'll feature the next account for the giveaway, a VIP 11 account. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you smash that like button. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and come back for more. Make sure you hit that bell, all that good stuff. Follow me on Instagram, join my Discord. Happy idling, and I'll see you guys then. Peace.